All right. So we're going to look at whole numbers, and the first thing that we're going to look at is properties of whole numbers. Properties of whole numbers. You might have heard of this, and this might be your first time, but whether or not you've heard of it or this is your first time hearing of it, it's going to make simple sense. So let's just have a look. So we've got cumulative property of addition and multiplication. Cumulative property of addition and multiplication. So that basically means that we're going to look at two things adding with each other and the very same things multiplying with each other. So here is our example. So we've got A plus B equals B plus A. So if we've got A plus B equals B plus A, that simply means this. Whatever you have on the left hand side is what you have on the right hand side. Now let me prove that to you. Let's say A equaled 2 and B equaled 3. What is 2 plus 3? That's basically 5, right? So let's take 2, which equals A, and substitute it where A is. And let's take 3 and substitute it where B is. So on the other side, let's substitute 3 for B and 2 for A. You see, we've got a 5 there and a 5 there. So both sides are equal. So this here was just the addition side. So let's move over and look at the multiplication. So if I said A times B equals B times A, this is basically a true statement, because what I'm going to do is, remember we've said that A equals 2 and B equals 3. I'm going to substitute just as I did on the left hand side. So A equals 2 and B equals 3 and B equals 3 and A equals 2. Oh, sorry. A equals 2. So this is 6 on this side and that is 6 on that side. Do you see that both sides are equal? So this is basically what cumulative property is. And now we're gonna have a look at that is associative property. So you don't really need to know these headings, and that's why I'm not writing them down. Now what this says is what associative property of addition and multiplication, what that is basically this. So if you've got, let's open a bracket, A plus B plus C equals A plus open bracket B plus C, right? So again, let us have a look at this here. We said A equals 2, right? So we're gonna do the very same thing and take these values here and substitute them underneath. So we've got 2 plus 3 plus, oh, we're gonna have to add another value. Let's say C equals a different number. Let's make it 1. All right, so C equals 1. And then on the other side, we're gonna say 2 plus open bracket 3 plus 1. All right, so what we've learned from ages ago is what we call BOD mass, right? That's very important for you to know at this moment. So now let us have a look at what our answer is on the left hand side here and what our answer is on the right hand side. So I'm going to apply BOD mass, which says get rid of the brackets first. Right? Get rid of the brackets first. So now I'm going to get rid of my brackets. What is 2 plus 3? That's 5. and that's what my answer is. And then here we're going to bring down the 2. We're going to do this here, which is 4. You see that? So on the left hand side we've got 5 plus 1, which gives us 6, and on the right hand side we've got 2 plus 4, which also gives us 6. You see that? Now let us have a look on the right hand side. So we know that we're now multiplying on the right hand side, right? So we have A times B, close bracket, all multiplied by C. And then that equals A times B, open a bracket, that will be times C. Okay, so now we're going to substitute again. So our A equals 2. Sorry about that. That's 2 times 3 times 1 is equal to 2 times, open bracket, 3 times 1. Okay, BODMAS says get rid of the brackets first. So what do we have? What is 2 times 3? That is 6, right? Times 1. That's what we have on the left hand side. And on the other side, we bring down the 2 again. What is 3 times 1? That is 3. Okay, what is 6 times 1? 6 times 1 is 6, and 2 times 3 is 6 as well. All right, so now what I want you to be aware of, or what you don't need to read from this here, is that you see on the left hand side right here, see where my marker is, this here, that there is equal to 6, and this here is also equal to 6. Now do not assume, just because both answers are 6s, do not assume that they'll always be the same if they were addition or multiplication. Because for instance, if we said let's take big numbers, say our big numbers are 5, 10 and 15. That's gonna make a huge difference when you add than when you multiply, because when you add you end up somewhere around 5, 10, that's 15 plus 15, you end up at 30. And then if you multiply those, you're gonna end up with a huge number. So that's why you shouldn't assume that they're always gonna be the same, right? So let us have a look at our next one. Our next one is called the distributive property of multiplication over addition and subtraction. Now let's have a look at the first example that I'm gonna put down for you. Again, headings are not all that important, because when you're given this, you wouldn't really associate it with any wording, because that's basically what numbers are. Distributive property of multiplication over addition and subtraction. So you've got A, open bracket, B plus C equals A times B plus A times C. This here is very important. Like, I really like for you to listen to me very carefully here. If you get this right, you're going to be fine until matric. You're not going to be retaught this by anybody. So make sure that you do get this. Now, let's have a look at this. How this works is that you've got an A outside of the bracket, right? And you've got a B plus C inside of the bracket. So what do brackets mean? Brackets, according to BODMAS, brackets mean multiplication. So you're going to take this term here and multiply with what's inside the bracket. All right, so take the outside term, multiply with what's inside. And so if you've got an A there, let me just make it clear for you. So that is A, right? I'm going to circle that and I'm going to extend that there. So A multiplied with B first, and then A multiplied with C. And because those are both positive, you don't really have to worry about what they become here. And so A times B is what you get from these first two, and then A times C is what you get from those two. And that's why you have that there. So let us use our numbers again and substitute from these numbers here. All right. So A equals 2, B equals 3, C equals 1. So what do you need to know here? Take the 2, multiply it with the 3, and then multiply it with the 1. So that is going to be 2 times 3 plus 2 times 1. That's how simple that is. And so if you were asked to simplify it even further, obviously you'll have 6 plus 2, which is 8. Alright, because those are numbers, so you can go further with that. And that's how simple that is. So let's have a look at another example with a minus instead of a plus. Alright, so if you had A open bracket B minus C, you'd have A multiplied with a B, because the B is positive. If there's nothing in front of the B, that's positive, subtracted by A multiplied by C. So that's one way of doing it. I'll show you another way which is not as complex. So if you have A multiplied by B and A multiplied by negative C, let's use our numbers from that side. Let's substitute. B is 3, C is 1. So we're going to have 2 multiplied by 3 minus 2 multiplied by 1. And so let's see, the answer is going to be 6 minus 2. The answer is going to be 4. Now let me show you the other way that I think is much easier than this. Let me start here. So I'm going to show you a way that is easy to do this here, and a way that is easy to do that here, to do that there. So you've got two options as to which one you're going to go with. So here, can I move this here? Oh yes, I can. Let me take that there. So I'm not going to write the first step. I'm just going to start. This is where I'm going to start. I'm going to start here. Let's make a line there. So I'm going to have 2, 3 plus 1. And I'm going to say that's equal to, I'm going to take my 2, multiply it with that, and then multiply it with that. What is 2 times 3? That is 6. And what is 2 times 1? That is 2. My answer is 8. Oh, you see that? Oh, you can't see the 8. So let's take the 8 to that side. And please do write that underneath the 6 plus 2. Now let us move over. What we're going to do here is the very same thing there, but obviously we've got a negative now. So there's going to be 2 multiplied by 3 minus 1. So what that's going to equal to, that is 2 times 3, that is 6. Let me just draw the lines, and then 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. Right. And so our answer is 4. And basically, that's how products work.